Hi, I'm back with another signature on the album that I'm playing with that features Graphic 45's Steampunk Spells. And it's going to be a waterfall, a double waterfall, and what I'm putting together here in the center is going to be a tight fit. And let me get this turned over here. Because I measured these, the cardstock is coming in at 4 1/8, 4 1/8 by 6 5/8. And then you have a 1/2 inch score on the shortest, on the width. And you're going to want 8 of these. We're going to do 4 on each side. Now, what I mean by a tight fit is that with this only being 8 1/2 here across, okay, I seem to be fumbling here. Hold on just a second. These are going to come in here and fit with just about 1/8 of an inch on each end, and then about 1/8 of an inch in between. So it's going to be a tight fit, but I wanted to have a waterfall that would allow someone to put in some large photos. And then I'm also going to put in a small pocket down here at the bottom so that when you get to the last waterfall, it flips up. You've got a pocket where you could put additional items. I'm going to start by putting this in first because I think it will make it easier. I won't be flipping around with the waterfall pages if I do this first. Oh, and yes, my base page, can't forget the measurement, is the same as it is, 8 1/2 across by 9 1/4 in its height. All right, so let's start down here in the very, there we go. Can I lift this without tearing? I just saw that I'm off a bit. I don't want that blue showing across the bottom. Someone who's got an eye that isn't necessarily craft related and could pick up on that, it would be someone who would pick up on it because they just simply happen to have a good eye. So I want to lower that a little bit. Okay, come here. And then I've gone into my scraps to find this piece. It gives nice contrast against the blue and the moons. And then I want to put down my little beads, or gems actually. And I'm going to cut it off right about there. And then I'm just going to accent it here. And I think I might just do a little bead of glue here on the bottom, so if someone wanted to use it as a tuck, that they could. Perfect. Now I'm going to turn it upside down because for me it's going to be easier to see when I'm laying these down. And I forgot to tape all of these, so you're going to need to bear with me while I take, oops, that's the wrong one, while I take care of this. And I'll give you the measurement here. Again, I'll turn this around so you can see the measurements. 4 1/8 by 6 5/8 with a 1/2 inch score. That way you can get everything all cut while I'm doing this. And then these. I apologize, I try to have all this done so you're not wasting video time watching me put tape on. All right. There's 4 for that side. And then there's 4 for that side. So, one more time. You're going to want 8 of these that are 4 1/8 by 6 5/8, and you're going to score across the width at a 1/2 inch. And I am going to alternate. I'm going to place one here and then one here because I think it's going to be important for me to make sure I'm keeping the same pattern going down. I'm going to come off about a 1/2 inch off the top and then 1/8 of an inch in on that edge. And then again, a 1/2 inch from the top, and then 1/8 of an inch in, and then I have roughly 1/8 of an inch in between. So this is going to become, for me, the challenge, and that's, where's my picker? And that's going to be to lay these straight so that they don't taper off in some goofy direction. Okay. And I'm sure that if you are making this, you know how to do waterfalls. It's a common practice in scrapbooking. Okay. So far, so good. All right. Now I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to burnish here on the back side. It's easier because it gives me a flat surface. I'm not bumping up against all the edges. So there we are. Now I am going to cover the front of these with 2 of the cards. I'm going to do a real quick dry measurement. I might need to trim this up a little bit. I can see just a hair, not much, just a hair. Get rid of the white edges. Oh, that's so much better. And I think I've got a pencil mark here. All right, so I am choosing these 2 here for the fronts. You can, there's several, so you can choose whichever 2 you want to do. And I am just going to simply glue them in place. In fact, there's enough that if you wanted to, you could cover one side of each one. Now, I've been toying with whether just to cover this piece here, the 1/2 inch. I've got more than enough paper. I could cover all of these. And as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think that that might be... I'm reluctant to do it at times because I don't know a person's photo style, but I'm wondering if I don't think I can get enough out of this, and that's the only sheet I have. So I've got to pretty much find 2 in here that are, if I want to cover the whole thing. So bear with me, I may just abandon this. And I only have 1 of those, I think. No, I have 2 of these. All right, so if I do this, and I cover these from the underside, then this is what you're going to see all the way down. And I guess that would be okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a real quick eyeball, but a 1/16 of an edge there. I'm going to do 1/16 of an edge over here. and then about 1/16 of a cutting edge there. And I do appreciate you hanging out here while I do this, because I was really hesitant on whether I was going to do this or not. So where is that measuring in at? It's measuring in right at 4 inches. Now I need another one, and I'll cut it from this one, but I'd like to get these on. Now I'm not going to bother with the ones up on the top. I will leave those open for interpretation for the buyer of this album. I've got several sheets. I'm going to have several sheets left over. I can offer up a couple that I think would work well, and if they want, then they can cover those, or they can just put their photos directly down. Oh, that's right, I already covered the front, so I only needed 3 of these. Well, that's good. What I am going to do, though, is this is a 1/2 inch gusset there. I'm going to cut some 3/8 strips, and I'm going to cover that. So how many can I get out of this strip? It would be marvelous if I could get all of them cut from one. I'm going to use a smaller trimmer, because if this is coming in at 4 inches, it'd be easier for me to do it this way. There's 1. Two. 3. Look at that. One sheet covered all of them. Oh, drats. Get rid of these white edges. Cap that off before I have any more ink mistakes. Now, oh, this will be perfect. And what I'm paying attention to when I'm putting these on is the bottom, because I know as long as I've got that lined up, it'll line up along the whole length. And then I'm going to really quickly cut 8 3/8 of an inch strips. It's going to be a matter of, and this is the only trimmer I have that will give me 3/8 conveniently. I'm looking in my scraps for something that I will like, that will add some, maybe a little bit of brightness, but not too much. I think this might be marvelous here. So I'm going to get a little tick mark so I can get my width. And then I'm going to cut 3/8 of an inch. There's one. There's 2. And 3. And 4. And then I'm going to do it again over here. So we have 1. 2. 3. And 4. And I do apologize. I don't know why I'm apologizing. It's crafting. It's what you do. Okay, there's that one. Again, I'm getting rid of the white edges. I just feel like it's unfinished if I don't. So, just in case you're, all I did was come in a little bit of a tick mark on each end and then cut 3/8 of an inch. Down. I have just a couple more to go. And then we can move on to the rest of the bigger stuff. And I see I've got some pencil that I need to erase here. I can't leave this. All right, let me cap this off until I need it again. All right, so then when these open up, you have access to this pocket. Okay, I think that turned out all right. Now, to enclose the waterfall, because generally there's a tab that comes up or across, but I'm going to cover it with cardstock cover, so it's going to be about like this. So what I've done is I've cut two, and they're 9 1/4 in their height. They're 5 inches across, and there is a 1/2 inch score and a 3/4 inch score. You're going to want to cut 2 of these. The gusset is going to help absorb the waterfall and any of the buildup due to photos being added on. So it will ultimately sit in here like this. Now when you add this in, you're going to want to bring your page right up to that 3/4 inch score, and you want to just cover it ever so slightly, because then when you fold this over, that gusset is firmly on the edge. And I hope doing what it's, oh, I went in too far. Okay, I went in too far, see what happened? So, regrettably, I am gonna have to remove this and back it off a little bit. All right, let's try doing it this way. No, come on, stay on there. This time I'm coming right up to that 1/4 inch gusset, and I have a better result. That's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna get in here and try and score it with this. Because I've got all right, now the gusset's standing up a little bit better. All right, so this time I'm just going to come right up to it and then fold this over. Shoot. I'm a little off here on the ends, but I'm just going to work with it. Oh, I didn't do this one. Now, how did I manage to not put this one in there? better check the rest of them, make sure that they're all firmly in place. Okay. All right, now to cover, I don't know why I'm trying to cap that off. I'm going to need it here in a minute. I'm not using magnets on it this time. I'm going to create a little tuck down here that this will slide into to keep these closed. So on the inside, I am using this paper, and I've reversed it. I've turned it. The pattern is cut up and down. I wanted it to go sideways. It, I think, makes, to my eye, looks better. But you can do it vertically if you want. I'm just gonna, I just cut the paper horizontally because I like that look a lot better. Now I just want to creep up to that 3/4 inch score mark. And then I took one of the smaller tags out of an 8x8 collection that I have, and I'm just simply going to make a nice little tuck up here at the bottom, at the top, so you can come in behind it, but you still have room to put maybe a couple of small 2x2s, maybe a 3x3 or a 2x2 or a 4x3.5. All right, so let's go do this side here. I'm going to just do a dry measurement real quick. Make sure I'm seeing what I want to see. And then I'm using another small card out of the 8x8s. I'm just going to stick it right up there. So this is what it looks like on the inside. And then I chose the owl paper to go here on the outside. And I can glue it in. I don't have to worry about magnets. And these are all just cut to fit, depending upon how much of cardstock you want to see on the edges. I personally like to see about 1/16 of an edge. The cardstock to me should be in the background and not in the forefront. This is in the forefront. Now, I'm also going to run some black beads down this, or the gems, but I want to get the pockets on first because I want to stop them just right in front of oh, come on. right in front of them. So what I did is I cut a black piece of cardstock that fit across the width, which was right at about 4 and, it's not quite 4 1/4, a little bit more, well, 4 1/4. No, it's not. Get this thing in here straight. Yeah, it's 4 1/4 across by 3 5/8. So it's 4 1/4 by 3 5/8. And then I came in roughly, well, it's 1 inch across the top is where I started my trim. And then I'm at 7/8. So this is 1 inch, and then this is 7/8. It used to be 1 inch, but I had to trim up across the bottom, and it's complicated to explain why I had to do that, so I'm not going to bother. All right, so I want 2 of them, and I chose this pattern. And then I went to the sticker sheet, and I'm using the beautiful little floral sticker, and I'm running it across the bottom. And then out of the chipboard elements, I picked the bigger buttons, ran some string through, made a bow, and then took the small floral chipboard and centered it right in the middle. And I'm just going to put those down here as a little accent. So let me get some tape. Find my 1/4 inch tape. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to just tape across here. And then tape across the top. And I'm going to start on this edge here when I set this down. This edge, that corner, and then I come across. And if I cut it right, it should end right here at the edge on both the left and the right hand side. So let's go ahead and do this one. Now, if you've done something similar in the past and you prefer to make it differently, go ahead, it's your album. Come on. And then the same process, I'm going to start at the edge. And I'm going to come over to the gusset line. All right, let's glue in this paper. And these were cut to fit. And to be honest, it was one of the reasons why I had to trim this up a little bit, because I cut these wrong. And I'm going to take my button and glue it right there. Oh, dropped my button. Okay. And then my next button. Put it right in the middle. Now I can put these on. And I want to start these right here, and I'm going to end right there. So I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. I don't want it to interfere. Now I've got to think this through. So if this is going to come in like so, if I put this just one gem up, it should fit in there just fine. If not, I'm taking it off and I'll leave it the way that it is. I think I'm going to start at the top. I like these black gems. I think they add a little bit of class and color to the... So I'm going to cut 4 off. That's interesting. Now, if this works right, it should just, there, it does, yay. Okay, so I managed to make it through that one. I apologize, it's a little bit longer than some of the other videos. Let's go ahead and get our tape on the back side so we can get it in the album. This one gusset here is wanting to collapse, so when I put it in the album, I'm going to need to make sure that the tape is set such that it will support that gusset standing up. Get some of this stuff off my work table so I can work with the album. Alrighty. So this is going to set in here. And once again, I'm going to take this gusset and I'm going to come all the way to the edge here. And I am going to mount it this way, because I can see 3 of the 4 sides when I'm putting it in. Okay. I don't know how far that tape went, so I'm just going to give it a good burnish all the way around. All right, so this is where it's going to be important for me, and it might be for you as well, that when you take this tape off, if you've got a gusset that's wanting to collapse on you, and this one does, is you're going to push back on it so that it straightens up, and then you're going to commit the tape. And that helps keep this gusset from totally collapsing on you. And then I'm going to need to do the same to this side. This one doesn't want to do that, but I still want to make sure that the gussets are standing up straight. Well, come out of there. All right. There we go. Nice and level. Get in here and give it a good burnish. And we'll make sure I'm getting it in here as well. All right, so this is what your internal looks like. And then when you close, now you've got pockets here to put additional items, but we're going to use a pocket as a means of keeping this page, this signature closed. And we got a couple of cute little adornments here. So we're almost done. We've got one signature to go, and I'll see you then.